fruition, the entire world would be burning in less than a second.
Yeah, it would fucking be destroyed. Excuse me. I'm very scared of telepaths. I do not want people to know what is going on in my brain or all my intrusive thoughts and stuff. I would get on a watch list so fast.
They would probably put me in a psych ward under strict instructions never to give me a gun.
Yeah, they would
Mostly
probably
for fear
kill
of me. Excuse me.
in case you want to watch with me. I'm about to watch horrifying things that happen on more horror movie sets.
I am good. I can't handle that stuff.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Okay.
Like I can do like fake horror games and stuff like that. But I'm gonna play some Halo.
Word?
Hopping into Master Chief Collection, so all of them. I was gonna hop into Halo 2 campaign.
Me and Grayson were doing that a few months ago. That was fun. I think we streamed that.
A lot of horror movies are legitimately scary, but in some cases...
For those who watch this stream, the link is up here, the channel, and the video name's down here. I'm not putting that shit in the description. In fact, I think I forgot to put the link to the channel in the description. Go find it yourselves. The link's already up here in the video.
The events that took place on the sets of certain horror movies were more terrifying than the movies themselves.
Leave you to it. That I'm gonna leave you to it.
Oh shit! You didn't have to get off. I could have just muted myself on Butters. Butters.
A number of horrifying incidents have taken place on the sets of some of the most successful horror movies of all time, before, during, or shortly after filming. Whether these incidents were fatal accidents, cruel twists of fate, or some sort of evil curse still remains debatable. Perhaps a good place to start would be the Amityville Horror House, whose events may start to seem even scarier when you learn that horrors also took place on the sets for both the 1979 movie and the 2005 remake. The first Amityville movie starred James Brolin, who wasn't originally eager to take on the role, but eventually he accepted it because of something strange that happened. While reading the script one morning and getting to a scary section of the story, a pair of the actor's pants suddenly fell off a hanger, causing him to literally jump out of his chair in fright. James of course saw this as a sign that he needed to take the role, and the rest was history.
I feel like there'd be a
Fast
sign
forward to
split
the
down
2005
script in front of
remake
me.
with Ryan Reynolds taking on the part that was originally played by James Brolin. During filming, Ryan Reynolds along with other cast members claimed that every morning at exactly 3:15 a.m. they would wake up. The reason why that's terrifying is because 3:15 a.m. was the exact time that Ronald DeFeo murdered his entire family in the house. And it becomes a whole lot more creepy. At one point during filming, there was also an actual dead body that washed up near the filming set in the boathouse in the backyard of the house. Actors and crew members always suspected that there was an otherworldly presence during the filming of the movie. Whether they were right or just overly paranoid, who knows?
That's fucking
The
freaky.
2012 film The Possession is an unconventional horror movie that involves
think I've seen
rabbis,
that.
Judaism, and a cursed Jewish relic called Dybbuk box that attaches itself to a young girl. A Dybbuk box is a wine cabinet claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk, which is a malevolent wandering spirit that enters and possesses the body of a living person until exorcised. What happened on the set of The Possession left even the star of the movie, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, feeling very uneasy, and he already had a lot of experience acting in horror movies and shows under his belt. Some of the
He's a
seemingly
goat.
supernatural things that happened included lights exploding
One of
for
my
no
favorite
apparent
actors,
reason, as well as chilly breezes wafting through closed sets for no particular reason. But the
I just remembered. Buddy said that my voice is quiet in these, so I'm gonna turn up. That'd be good.
Scariest incident occurred when the storage facility where all the movie props were being held caught fire and burned to the ground. A team of investigators concluded that the fire was not started from an electrical fault or arson, but the actual cause for the fire couldn't be determined. The Dybbuk box used in the movie, which played an important role in the movie, was destroyed in the fire, and the cast and crew later refused to allow the movie's producers to replace the Dybbuk box for fear that it was cursed. The Conjuring is a movie that's supposed to be based on the true story of the Perron family, who claimed to be tormented by supernatural entities in their Rhode Island home in the 70s. While several of the family members spent time on the set during filming, the mother refused to go anywhere near it, as she was convinced that several unexplained events that plagued the filming of this movie on set were proof that the spirits hadn't finished with them yet. For instance, when members of the Perron family were visiting, a furious gust of wind suddenly rose and seemed to swirl around them. However, nobody could see any movement in any of the trees just opposite them, movement you'd expect to see from any normal gust of wind. Just a couple days later, the hotel that the actors and movie crew were staying in caught fire and everyone had to be evacuated. And it doesn't end there. James Wan, the movie's director, recalls working late in his office one evening when his dog started growling at something. He would get up to investigate, but he couldn't find anything that would be antagonizing the dog. However, the dog had his sights on something across the room. It seemed he had focused on an unseen entity in one corner of the room. James took a break from working after this, having been legitimately freaked out. Vera Farmiga, who played the role of a paranormal investigator in the film, refused to take the script home with her, as she said it made her feel uneasy. She also couldn't read it at night because she became paralyzed by fear whenever she tried. After a phone call discussion with James Wan, Vera opened her laptop screen, and there were 3 digital claw marks from the upper right diagonal to the lower left. This wasn't the last time it happened, though. Her next experience came a few months later, literally on the day that she completed work on The Conjuring. She returned home to upstate New York, and when she woke up the next day, she discovered what she describes as 3 claw mark bruises across her thigh. In 1983, a movie based on the Twilight Zone series was released. During filming, actor Vic Morrow was killed on the set. Deaths on movie sets have happened many times, but what makes this extra disturbing is the fact that Morrow appeared to predict his demise just a year earlier. A year before filming of the Twilight Zone movie began, Vic took out a $5 million life insurance policy on himself, explaining to friends and family members that he had a premonition something bad was going to happen to him on an upcoming movie. He had seen it in a dream he had. Unfortunately, his premonition came true, because while filming a scene involving a helicopter for the Twilight Zone, the helicopter crashed and decapitated him. 2 child actors were also killed in the accident, which prompted a lengthy investigation and court case. It was later revealed in court that the movie's concept artist unintentionally drew an identical image in his sketches to what actually happened, a burned-out helicopter in the middle of a river, essentially foreshadowing the accident. The accident led to civil and criminal action against the filmmakers, which lasted nearly a decade. One of the children's fathers testified that he heard John Landis, the director, instructing the helicopter to fly lower. All 4 parents testified that they were never told that there would be helicopters or explosives on set, and they had been assured that there would be no danger, only a lot of noise. John Landis and 4 other crew members would be found not guilty on the 3 charges of manslaughter, having been the first time a director was charged due to a fatality on a film set. The 1976 film The Omen is another horror classic following the tale of a young boy named Damien Thorne, who was replaced at birth by his father, unbeknownst to his wife, after their biological child died shortly after birth. As a series of mysterious events and violent deaths occur around the family and Damien enters childhood, they come to learn he's in fact the Antichrist. The film almost wasn't going to be completed due to an alleged curse that surrounded filming of the movie. So many horrible things happened on the set of The Omen that it can be comparable to the amount of bad things to happen in the movie. The tragedies began with the son of the lead actor Gregory Peck taking his own life as soon as filming began. The next incident was when a crew member suffered major injuries after getting into a car accident while driving to the set. But the tragedies didn't stop there. The scriptwriter's airplane was struck by lightning en route to the film's location. And if that weren't enough, an airplane in which Gregory Peck and the movie's executive producer were traveling in was also struck by lightning in a separate incident.
Yo, God was
Harvey
trying to warn
Bernhard, the
y'all.
producer, was on location in Rome when he was almost hit by a bolt of lightning himself. And believe it or not, the horrible luck involving airplanes continued. And it got much worse.
I changed my
One
mind.
day,
I
the
would've
crew had
looked into
decided to
people's
use a
stuff.
private
This is
airplane to
scary.
get from one film location to the other. However, just after the plane took off with a number of the crew on board, something went wrong and the plane went down, crashing into a road and hitting a car, which then crashed at a high speed into another vehicle. All 11 people involved in the accident were killed. Another tragic death associated with the movie set was that of Liz Moore. John Richardson, the Omen special effects expert, was driving through the Netherlands with Liz Moore when they were involved in a terrible car accident. Richardson escaped with very minor injuries, but Moore's head was completely severed when a tire smashed into their vehicle. This incident was eerily reminiscent of a scene in The Omen, in which the character Keith Jennings, investigating Damien's supernatural origins, is decapitated by a sheet of glass that comes loose from a vehicle on a construction site. Richardson later reported that just before the crash, he passed a road sign that read Omen 66.6 kilometers. Make of that what you will, but there's no denying that it's not
That
too far
has
off
to
to
be
speculate that the
bullshit.
production of The Omen may have been
There's
cursed.
no fucking way.
That,
bro.
or it was all just an outrageous coincidence.
There's no way that's a
All
fucking
that can be said
coincidence.
for
It's
sure
either
is
a
that The
hoax
Omen
or
is a
that's
very iconic
fucking
movie, and the chilling
actual
tales that
demon
surround its
stuff.
production have only helped to cement that legacy.
There's no way it's a coincidence. Fuck you, you weird long-faced lady. I'm sorry, what? I don't even want to know about that. Alright, now to watch 2. I
This
clicked
is a
that too,
part
but I
2
never
to the
watched it.
recent video I did of the scariest things to happen on horror movie sets. One of the movies on that list was The Conjuring, and coincidentally, the first movie on this list will be Annabelle, a movie that takes place in the same universe as The
Fuck
Conjuring.
you.
The first spin-off film was released in 2014 and was directed by John R. Leonetti, who claims to have experienced not one but 2 supernatural occurrences while on set. The first came when he claimed to have seen 3 fingers drawn through dust on set multiple times, which is disturbing because the demonic doll the movie is named after has 3 fingers. The second came when they shot their first scene with the demon actor in all his makeup. They were filming in an old apartment building near Koreatown, Los Angeles, when the demon actor went up the elevator and headed to where the other actors were. But as he was walking down a hallway, a giant glass light fixture fell on an actor's head who was playing a janitor. To make matters even creepier, in the script, that same hallway is where the demon kills the janitor, and the creepy on-set occurrences of the Conjuring universe don't end there. Corin Hardy, who directed The Nun, says that during production, he saw 2 men in a room he was filming in at a castle in Romania. He assumed they were just crew members. After completing the take, he turned to the men, but they were gone. To make things freakier, they would have had to pass him to leave the
Fucking Dracula references kill me. That shit is really creepy.
room.
You see just enough of her face to
The
realize that it's
1982
not
movie The
human.
Poltergeist is a movie that is rumored to have been cursed. It's believed that this curse started after Steven Spielberg and Tobe Hooper decided to use real skeletons during a scene where Jobeth Williams' character falls into a swimming pool filled with skeletons, which unbeknownst to the cast, the skeletons were actually real, since using real ones would be cheaper than buying fake ones at the time.
What? What is going on in the 20th
The
century?
majority of the fuel for the alleged curse stems from the deaths of multiple cast members. In total, 4 cast members died during and soon after the filming of the series. Carol Ann Freeling, the young protagonist of the trilogy, was played by Heather O'Rourke, and she was only 6 years old when the first Poltergeist film was released. Sadly, she was misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease in 1987, and the following year, she got sick again and was misdiagnosed with simply having the flu. But one day later, she collapsed and suffered a cardiac arrest. She died that day during an operation to correct a bowel obstruction. Dominique Dunn, who played the original older sister Dana Freeling, met an equally tragic and unforeseen fate. In November of 1982, Dominique's ex John Sweeney, who she had recently cut ties with, showed up at her house pleading for her to take him back. When she refused, he grabbed her neck and choked her until she was unconscious, leaving her to die in her driveway. Sweeney was sentenced to a horrendously lenient
What
6.5
the
years in prison, but was released after only 3 years and 7 months.
Why?
Julian Beck played the evil preacher Kane from Poltergeist 2. In 1983, Julian had been diagnosed with stomach cancer, which took his life soon after he finished work on the second installment of the series. The same film was met with further tragedy after Will Sampson, who played Taylor the Native American shaman, died after undergoing a heart-lung transplant, which had a very slim survival rate. Poltergeist remains a movie with one of the highest amount of tragedies to hit its cast members. Heather O'Rourke was believed to have haunted the set of another movie though, the 1990 film Ghost. Not as much a horror movie, just a movie about the afterlife, but some believe there may have been a real supernatural presence on set. The movie involved Paramount Studios' Stage 19, where the sitcom Happy Days was filmed, a sitcom that Heather starred in 12 episodes for. Workers from the stage have experienced inexplicable power outages and have heard laughter late at night, laughter reminiscent of Heather. One night shift security guard who worked Stage 19 told about the paranormal activities that go on at the studio. The security guard claimed that almost every night he would hear running and laughing on the catwalk above the set, which is where Heather liked to play when she was on the set for Happy Days. The security guard also told that sometimes workers would see the little girl playing on the stage. When asked what they do when they see her, the security guard replied that they usually just tell her to leave and she runs off. On the set of Ghost was no different, as multiple crew members have claimed to hear the young girl running around in the catwalks above the stage and laughing. The Exorcist is undeniably one of the most well-known horror movies of all time, having become a household name. But lesser known is the fact that it's also notorious for having a supposedly haunted set. One of the eeriest examples is that the set of the McNeil's house caught fire. The Exorcist was faced with multiple production delays, but the first was by far the worst. The set for Regan's family home burned down in 1972 after a bird flew into the circuit box.
No fucking
The
way.
only part of the set that survived was the bedroom where the exorcisms would take place, with the chances of that being very slim.
Fucked.
This set production of the
That's
movie back
fucking
significantly,
scary.
and led to shooting taking over a
What are
year.
they putting on her?
After the incident, a real priest was called in to bless the set.
Sauce?
During filming,
Didn't sound
Ellen
center.
Burstyn, who played the mother, Chris
Sauce
McNeil,
around.
suffered a spinal injury while being hoisted around on a harness. She claims to have been screaming to turn the cameras off and to stop pulling her, which was all dismissed or ignored. She was left on crutches for the rest of the production.
I had a rig around my midriff with a wire coming out the back, and the stuntman was pulling me too hard. I can get hurt. And Billy said, well, it has to look real. I said, I understand, but I'm telling you I could get hurt. And the stuntman was standing there listening to this, and Billy said to him, okay, don't pull her so hard. But as I turned away, I felt them exchange a look. You see me hit and you see me reach for my back. I screamed in horrendous pain. Billy motioned to Owen to tilt the camera down on me.
The moment she fractured her lower spine was actually the footage that's in the movie, and the screams you hear in the movie are not acting,
Couldn't see
rather
none of that
actual
shit.
cries of pain, but the crew assumed she was only acting. But the real curse of the movie would be the deaths linked to the movie. They included Jack McGowran, who played the film director Burke Dennings. Ahead of the
think I've
film's
watched
release,
Exorcist
Jack
since
tragically
child.
died from complications related to
I
influenza.
think about it.
Vasiliki Maliaros, who played Father Damien Kara's mother,
That's a
also
dude.
passed away that same year before The Exorcist was released,
Oh.
reportedly dying of
Oh.
natural causes.
That's
Both of their
spooky.
characters in the movies also died. During the production, a number of the cast and crew, including Linda Blair, who played Regan, and Max von Sydow, who played Father Merrin, also lost family members.
Oh,
And the
well,
son of Jason Miller, who played Father Karras, had a near-fatal motorcycle accident during filming.
Damn.
The
This last two things
1968
kinda
film
seem like
Rosemary's
life gaining
Baby
life.
follows a failing
I feel
actor
like
who
the
agrees to
details
give up his
and
wife's
that-
womb to Satan so he could have a
that
taste of
treated-
fame. It was an instant hit,
Excuse me.
but the satanic overtones of the film have led people to believe the film had been cursed, and a number of the cast and crew had suffered horrible fates because of it. To start, the composer for the soundtrack of the movie, Krzysztof Komeda, died in 1969 after falling off a rocky slope at a party. He had entered a coma for 4 months until passing away. This is very similar to the death of the character Hutch in Rosemary's Baby, but if anybody were to have been hit the hardest by the alleged curse, it would have to be the film's director, Roman Polanski. Initially, he wanted to include his wife Sharon Tate in the film as Rosemary, but was overruled by the producer Robert Evans, who fought to cast Mia Farrow. Sharon was instead cast as an unnamed background character in a single party scene. A year after the film was released, Sharon and some of her friends were staying in a rented house in Los Angeles when Tex Watson and some girls from the Manson family broke in. The Manson family was a gang or cult led by Charles Manson that was active in California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Tex Watson and the girls killed Sharon and all of her friends, inflicting more than 100 piercing wounds total among the 4 victims. Sharon Tate was 8 months pregnant when it happened. The alleged curse of the movie doesn't stop there, though. The Dakota is a famous building in New York, which served as the exterior for the apartments in Rosemary's Baby. But little did a lot of people know that it was the site of John Lennon's murder.
Awful.
The Dakota's gothic style was a perfect choice for the movie, as it's exactly what you'd expect the home of witches to look like. The producer Robert Evans claimed that the whole time he felt uncomfortable in and near the building while on set. After the film was released, one of the producers, William
You know, I was expecting this shit to be scary, but this is just like really sad. All of this is super depressing. I don't want to watch this anymore.
Castle was hit with kidney stones. He claimed that
guess.
during surgery, he began to hallucinate scenes from the film and even shouted, "Rosemary, for God's sake, drop that knife." He later admitted in his autobiography that he was overall very frightened of Rosemary's Baby.
Fucking weird. Go back to people being scary. Hey, look, late night horror reactions. I'm on my own stream. That's hilarious. No more stories. I want videos of people being weird. Alright. Nothing sad.
In this footage submitted by Jason, something
Here's the
happens
link.
that if it weren't
We
caught
have
on
a video
dash
and
cam,
the
you
channel.
wouldn't believe it. It was around 1 in the morning. Jason was on his way to what he thought was going to be the house of a woman he matched with on a dating app.
Wait a second, y'all. I need to go get my phone. I can check and see if there's chat. There could be no spooky shit. Of course, the door doesn't close on the way. Just fucking creepy. Nah, fuck that. Close the door. Single crack of staying outside. None of that shit. Not when I'm watching the spookies. Alright. Small intermission, folks. I'm sorry if there's been people in the chat. Of course, that. Alright. Need to go turn off my Oh, there's a lot of latency. This shit ultra low. Oh, I forgot. I'm not on the screen. Mount for that. Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm freaked out now.
The person had given Jason their address over the app. They had not exchanged numbers. After putting the address into his phone, he realized that not only was the address 20 minutes away, it was also in a less desirable side of town. Against his better judgment, he got in his car anyway to head to the given address, which was in a cul-de-sac. After entering the cul-de-sac, he realized all 3 houses had all of their lights out, and when he tried to message the girl he matched on the dating app, she would no longer answer. After waiting a few minutes for an answer, he realized the person had unmatched him, meaning it may have been a trick or prank, and so he turned the car around. As he was leaving the cul-de-sac, he noticed someone on the sidewalk stepping out into the street, and so he locks his doors and slows down. This is the footage captured on the dashcam. The footage is kind of grainy, so it's hard to make out some of the smaller details. But basically what happened was Jason slowed down as he saw a masked person walking into the middle of the street, immediately knowing something was off because there was nothing across the street except a busy highway. So he locks his door and comes to a stop as the person is directly in front of his car. Then the masked person reaches into his pocket, grabs a handgun that's a little hard to see in the video due to lighting, and starts running towards his driver's side door. Jason immediately steps on the gas and drives past the man, who then tries to open the door, which thankfully was locked mere seconds earlier. It's hard to see unless you pause and zoom in, but the man in the video was wearing a creepy smiling mask. The man didn't fire any rounds, but that's also under the assumption that the gun was even loaded or real. It's not that uncommon to hear about people using fake guns in scenarios like this. What was strange about this was while even though it was in a less desirable end of town, it was still a very residential block right next to a highway, so it was a slightly questionable place to pull this. However, it doesn't take a detective to put the pieces together that this was a setup through the dating app to lure some unsuspecting guy to a dead-end road in order to rob him at gunpoint or worse. According to Jason, the spot in which the man stepped into the street was out of view of any houses as it ran alongside a long fence and bushes. Jason reported the whole incident to the police, including the given address. Jason was accompanied with a police officer to knock on the door of the address in question the next day, and an older woman who claimed to live alone answered the door. She claimed she had nothing to do with it, and that's obviously pretty likely to be the truth, meaning a random person simply chose that address because the street was low-key and hidden, debatably a perfect spot to try and set somebody up. Luckily, Jason didn't decide to stay put and got away without harm, because who knows what could have happened. Before the next clip, I just want to talk about today's sponsor, Aura. I read a lot of horror stories on this channel, but a growing horror story in America that more and more people are falling victim to is identity theft, with there being a new for your gamers can gain access to fraud money serving because of the past was published. And for click the note. On November 23rd, 2016, the day before Thanksgiving, a fire began on the Chimney Tops Trail in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The fire was sparked by a group of kids playing with matches in the woods, and it was fueled by unusually high winds. Flames erupted in a remote area with steep terrain that made access to the fire difficult for firefighters. Crews spent 3 days working to create a containment area lower down the mountain. Helicopters flew overhead doing bucket drops to attempt to slow the spread of the fire. On the 4th day, winds picked up and the fire spread. But the Gatlinburg fire chief said projections showed no immediate threat to Gatlinburg. Despite the predictions, on Monday, November 28th, dry weather and extreme winds caused the fire to grow rapidly. That evening, wind gusts of up to 87 miles per hour sent embers flying into Gatlinburg, wreaking havoc on the city and surrounding
Oh, technically, how would
communities.
you blue?
Town officials reported that evacuation alerts were sent out to residents' cell phones, but many residents said they never received any alerts. 14 people were killed and 191 people were injured in the fire. The flames destroyed nearly 2,500 homes and left an estimated $2 billion worth of damages. Resident Michael Luciano recorded his and his stepbrother's horrifying escape down the mountain. During the drive down, just about every single passing cabin is seen engulfed in flames.
Oh,
Oh shit, he's right.
God. Lord. We'll get out of it. Hit the gas. I can't see. You can see. Why is every cabin on fire?
Start watching the news more.
Fuck.
That freaks me
I
out.
don't think.
The local
I don't
news.
know about this.
Fucking big shrek.
Just started at Natty Branch. We're going the wrong way. What? Oh God, that was a beautiful cabin too. Not now.
And at multiple points, the two men find themselves stuck behind fallen trees.
Fuck, go through it. Go through it. I can't. I cannot be stuck. Try it on the left side, but these sticks are short. Get a running start.
They've been jingling and panting.
Even at one point getting stuck behind another driver, which happened to be an old man who rolled his window down to tell Michael that he couldn't see.
Does this motherfucker want to die here? What the f is wrong with you? Go! Get the fuck out of here! Alright!
The old man ended up pulling to the side and following Michael's taillights down the mountain. At certain points, it seems very likely the men aren't going to make it out alive. But by some stroke of luck, they made it to the containment area with only minor damages to their truck. Their luck didn't just end there though. Their cabin survived the fires with very little damage, despite its close proximity to the surrounding engulfing flames. While this footage can almost make you feel like you're in the truck with them, it obviously can't compare to the actual fear of being in the suffocating heat inside the truck mixed with tension of the life or death situation at hand. In this footage, a young girl who wished to remain nameless, so I'll refer to her as Amanda, was driving home from her boyfriend's house. She had just pulled out of the driveway and started heading down her boyfriend's block when a car in the middle of the road came into view. The car wasn't moving but didn't have its hazards on, so Amanda waited for a few moments until the driver in front of her lowered his window and waved for her to go around him, so she did. Upon passing the car, she quickly realized the car behind her started moving as well, which at first wasn't too weird, but it became clear very soon that the car was following her after it started making the same turns she made. She started to make as many random turns as possible, and sure enough the car behind her stayed on her tail.
Go everywhere with a gun. I'm telling y'all, this is the second stream in a row I'm saying this.
She then calls her boyfriend, which I muted at her request for privacy, and she explained to him that somebody was following her. He reassured her to keep calm and everything would be fine, and to just drive to the nearest police station. So she looked up the nearest police precinct, and when they were only a few blocks away from it, the car behind her turned the opposite way, likely because they knew she was going to the police station. Still on the phone with her boyfriend, she told him the car behind her turned a different direction, so her boyfriend assured her she should be fine to go straight home. Just be cautious.
Get dash cams.
Amanda drove home after this, which was in the same town, so it was unlikely to be a long trip home. She even checked to make sure the coast was clear before parking her car and going inside. But later in the night, she woke up to this.
What? What? What did she wake up to?
What the fuck is that?
Wait, did I unpause it? What the fuck? What day did it come out? Am I gonna get jump scared?
Amanda heard
No, I'm checking to see this. Oh, dude. What is the last story? I'm not reading their full things.
sounds right outside her bedroom window, like someone was trying to lift it open from the outside. Once she turned the lamp on, the noise stopped. She called for her dad when she realized what was happening. and the occurrence was immediately associated with the vehicle that was following her earlier. So the family called the police to file a police report and showed them the dashcam footage of the vehicle following her. The vehicle could be identified as a BMW, and Amanda was asked if she knew anyone who owned a BMW that might want to hurt her. The only person she could think of was a guy named Christopher Crea, somebody who she blocked on social media for obsessive harassment, who happened to drive a black BMW. These were the last texts Christopher had sent to Amanda before she blocked him. Christopher happened to know Amanda's boyfriend personally through mutual friends, and through those connections, he knew where he lived, so the idea that this Christopher guy waited outside Amanda's boyfriend's house suddenly became a possibility. As an idle threat, Amanda's boyfriend sent an Instagram DM to Christopher that she was filing for a restraining order if he bothered her again, but his response was him acting confused and claiming he hadn't bothered her. Whether it was acting or not is a mystery, but nothing happens again at Amanda's house after that, so it doesn't seem too far-fetched that it could have been this Christopher guy. The following dashcam footage was taken in the vehicle of Uber driver Christina Spikuza, and I want to warn you, while there is no actual graphic footage shown, the story behind it is upsetting. 38-year-old mother of four Christina Spikuza was doing some night drives on February 10th, 2022, when 22-year-old Calvin Crew used his girlfriend's phone to order an Uber. Christina accepted the ride and picked Calvin up. He gets into the car in a sketchy mask covering his entire face except for his glowing eyes. She greets him by asking for Tanea and how are you today, but he doesn't answer either question, or if he did, it was likely an inaudible grunt.
Hi, for Tanea. How are you today?
Christina was extremely polite to Calvin, even asking how his day was going a few minutes in.
Did you have a good day today?
Calvin is seen turning to check if the coast was clear, and then lifting his mask up slightly before pulling a gun on Christina and threatening her.
I'm sorry?
Keep driving.
You've got to be joking.
Keep driving.
What are you doing?
This is a gun. Keep driving.
No, it's not. Stop. Come on, man. I got a family. What are you
I got
doing?
a family too. Now drive.
What are you doing?
Drive.
Please stop.
Drive the car, miss.
Why
Just
are you
drive.
doing
Don't
this?
Don't make this so noticeable. Just drive.
Why are you doing this?
Drive the car.
To where?
Complete the trip.
I cannot do that.
Complete the trip.
Why are you doing this?
Complete the trip.
Please?
He tells her to cancel the ride so that it could no longer be tracked. Not long after, he grabs her phone to gain access to her banking apps to transfer money to his girlfriend's
Get
phone.
off of me. Please. No, no.
Keep driving.
Before grabbing the dashcam and throwing it out the window, he tells her that everything will be okay if she does what he says.
After you, bitch. You're gonna go to prison, dude.
But that later proved to be a lie. Christina's body was discovered by an Amazon driver 2 days later, lying in the woods 50 feet off the road, with a single gunshot wound to the head. Detectives found Christina's dashboard camera along the route of her last Uber ride, and the footage provided all the evidence necessary to prosecute Calvin for her murder. Prosecutors are currently seeking the death penalty for Calvin.
Good. He fucking deserves it. Ah, man, I was hoping that he would. Really hoping she would survive and that he would get caught anyway. Fuck, that's why it was sad. God damn, what a piece of garbage. I am gonna read. Yeah, rest in peace to that woman. I just. What a fucking note to end on, and I'm streaming. I feel like a piece of shit now. You know what? Let's do Snapchats. I don't know, man. I don't want to end on that note. That's fucking crazy.
Snapchat has become a staple in
Blank
today's social media world.
name.
It's a convenient way to contact friends and keep in touch with people.
And to
But
get
as we've seen
dick pics
over and over on
on a
this
daily
channel,
basis.
there can be a few privacy concerns if you're not careful. Let's just jump right into it and look at 3 disturbing snaps people have received and their backstories. For the sake of the person who sent me this, I'll refer to her as Maria. Maria has an Instagram account with 5,000 followers, which is a decent amount, and so she gets a good amount of attention on her profile from men. Maria has a boyfriend who has not appeared in any pictures of hers on her Instagram. Maria also had her Snapchat username in her Instagram bio, something a lot of people do to allow their acquaintances and friends to add them on the app with ease. This can also open the door to unwanted contact though. Although she didn't add everybody back who added her on Snap, she at one point had her privacy settings set to allow all people to send her messages and snaps,
checking my
even
Snapchat.
people she didn't add back. So, somewhat often she'd receive messages and snaps from random guys, usually guys that followed her on Instagram.
Check that.
In her words, often older and creepy looking. But according to her, even younger guys managed to look creepy by taking weird angled selfies in dark rooms. Usually the snaps were pretty harmless like this, but one day she received a snap that would lead to her getting the police involved. Maria lives with her family, but often stays at her boyfriend's first floor apartment. This location is not known to anybody except for her close friends who know of her boyfriend, making it all the more disturbing when she received this snap. It was a picture taken through the window to her boyfriend's bedroom. At the time the photo was taken, it's hard to see it in the dark, but Maria was in the bed napping, and her boyfriend was in the living room watching football. There was no caption to the Snapchat, making it appear to be some kind of subtle threat. Maria didn't open the snap until much later in the night while going through snaps she'd received from various people she didn't know. By this time, it was a couple hours after the snap had been sent. She panicked and screenshotted the snap and showed it to her boyfriend. From here, he replied to the account on her phone, asking who is this.
Really creeped out.
Upon adding the person back, they saw the account had a pretty high snap score, which for those of you who may not know, a person's snap score represents how many times they have received or sent a snap. This account having a snap score in the 50,000 range meant it wasn't likely just a random spam account. The person replied, "John, LOL." Maria's boyfriend replied back, "We're calling the police," and John replied, "K cool, let me know if you need help calling them." After this, the account blocked her, and the couple were left to wonder who this person was. A search through Maria's Instagram followers turned up multiple Johns, but with no last name on the account, it would simply be a guess as to who it could be.
Sounds like he's
That same
Hispanic.
night, as the couple was sleeping,
The
a
Jojo.
crash from the living room woke them up. As Maria's boyfriend ran to check the source of the noise, he found it was the dining room window, which had been shattered, and on the floor was a house brick, presumed to have been taken from a house being renovated down the block. If the couple didn't have a case before, they definitely did now, and they called 911 to report the incident. Now that a police report had been made, police would subpoena Snapchat for information on this person's account in hopes to locate the person. The couple was assigned a detective to their case, who was supposed to help in identifying the mystery person.
Supposed to.
However, as the days turned into weeks, little to no information was given. It did become apparent, however, that the Snapchat account had been either deleted or banned because it no longer came up under search results. Currently, Maria and her boyfriend have no idea who this person was, and any thought of it being a prank by a friend was out the window when their window was literally shattered by a
Out
brick.
the window, really?
It can boil down to a stalker being jealous of her boyfriend, but this would also mean that Maria was followed to her boyfriend's house, and that the perpetrator would know where she lives as well. Luckily, with security cameras becoming more prevalent on houses, these kinds of crimes are becoming more difficult to get away with. But in cases like this, where there's an absence of any cameras, unfortunately people may still be able to pull these kinds of crimes off. 3 months later, and Maria and her boyfriend haven't seen any new activity at either of their homes.
Motherfuckers try some shit like that with me, you're getting shut up.
This next story comes from a college student named Tom from the
Oh, my
University of
dog's
Kentucky. Tom shares his location on the Snap Map feature, which if you've been around my channel for a while, you know how things can sometimes turn out with that. Tom lives in a house off campus with 4 friends in a downtown area by a bunch of bars. The squad of guys often walk to and from these bars at night on the weekends. The night in question was no exception. Tom was on his way home from a nearby college bar, about a 15-minute walk from the house. At some point while walking home, he was on a quiet residential street with woods on one side, and he heard someone walking behind him. He turned to see a man holding out something in front of him, walking about 10 meters behind him. He couldn't tell what he was holding, but he didn't stare for too long because he didn't want to draw negative attention to himself. He noted that something about the sight of the man seemed ominous, though. The man was behind Tom for a while, until he turned to the block with his house on it. At some point before making it back, the man was no longer behind him, at least not that he thought. It was only after he made it back inside the house that he got a notification that he received a snap from his friend Luke, one of his housemates, who was home at the time. Luke had lost his phone that night though, so receiving a snap from his Snapchat account meant that somebody had his phone. Tom called his housemates downstairs before opening the video. He also turned his screen recorder on to capture the snap, and this is what they saw.
It was him. Please tell me it was just a dude fucking with him after finding the phone. What? Oh, it was just a bag. I thought it was like a whole ass trash can. That's fucked. That's scary.
The snap was a video of Tom walking down the street towards his house. It was the man he had seen walking behind him, and what he was holding out in front of him was apparently Luke's phone. They had the idea to check the location of Luke's phone on the snap map, since he had his location enabled, as did Tom. The location of his Bitmoji was last updated 9 minutes ago, and its location was right on top of their house. So the three guys who were currently home ran around the entire property with all the outside lights on to light up the area. They didn't find the man with the phone, but oddly enough, Luke's Bitmoji moved just a tad as it updated again, yet it was still on top of the house, meaning whoever had the phone had to be somewhere that they were overlooking. After a while, the guys thought to lock the phone using the Find My iPhone feature, and then have it play a sound. When they did this, they were confused to hear the beeping sound of the phone coming from inside the house, followed by stomping of someone's shoes and the front door slamming shut. Luke's beeping phone was still inside the house, but instead of going straight for that, the three guys ran outside to chase after whoever just ran out the front door. By the time they made it out onto the street, they had no idea which way the person went. They were out of sight and they could have been hiding anywhere. After checking the neighbors' yards, the guys went back inside to retrieve Luke's beeping phone, and Tom claims they found it right in the pantry closet, meaning the man was hiding in there for however long. At first, one could have maybe assumed that the person who had the phone was trying to return it, until it was discovered that that person was literally hiding in their house. Assuming all the details in the story are true, if I had to guess, the man who had stolen Luke's phone knew who he was somehow and was following Tom through his SnapMap Bitmoji location all the way up to their house. There are some missing details though, like how the phone was stolen, what the method of entry to the house was, and if Luke and the rest of the guys in the house had any sort of enemies or people out to get them. No police action was taken apparently. In 2015, an Australian Redditor with username Skinna555 took 3 Snapchat videos of his parents' exotic birds and put them on a Snapchat story. What followed next was downright disturbing. Skinna and his girlfriend recently moved into his childhood home with his parents while their own house was being built. Skinna's parents owned 3 Australian parrots, and one night while he was home alone, he uploaded 3 Snapchat stories showing off the birds, since many people always asked about the birds.
Right, so the first one of my parents' little birds
Looking at that window,
is this
bro.
little guy. It is little Leo.
Is
He's
the
a
bird's gonna say
cockatiel.
something that somebody else said?
The second little bird of my parents
Where's the-
is a rainbow
Got it in the
lorikeet.
background.
His name is Oliver. And there he is. And here I am with my good little mate, Puffin.
About 15 minutes after uploading the videos to his story, Skinna receives a text from one of his friends, and at the bottom of it, it says, "By the way, what was that in the window behind you in the last one?"
White things.
So after seeing this text, he went to
white.
rewatch the clips a couple of times and opened them on his computer to get a larger and clearer view of the videos. In the last snap, it almost appears as if someone is at the door, looking in with their hands cupped against it. But it's hard to say for sure because of how briefly the door is in the frame. But whatever it was not in the first snap when that same door was in full frame. Skinna was home alone at the time, and to add to the mystery, that door led to the backyard, which was only accessible through a single gate which had been locked. The theory that it might have been a reflection doesn't hold up, because the sliding glass door was half open, and all that stood between the figure and the inside of the room was the fly screen door, which would not have been able to cast any reflections. Whatever was at that door moved in the matter of seconds that passed between the first and third snap. When Skinna was a young child, around 10, he started to commonly experience sleep paralysis, which could get so intense that he'd find himself often not being able to breathe for short periods of time. And this led to a fear of sleeping for him. A couple years went by, and his sleep paralysis tendencies would worsen. During his episodes,
Stop doing
he
that.
could not
You're a
move.
fucking
It
dick.
felt like something that meant him harm was in the room with him. Around the age of 14, he started to hear and see things like thuds and creaks. However, he always had one recurring vision, a faceless person looking in his bedroom window with their hands cupped up to the glass, similar to this image caught in his Snap story. When he moved out at age 18, he never had another episode. So for a few days after these snaps, nothing happens. But come Friday night, Skinner found himself home alone again. At around 10:15 p.m., while playing games on Steam with his friends, he starts to hear some relatively loud banging, loud enough that he could hear it even through his headset. It was coming from the screen door outside. He got up to film the sounds using his phone. The noises got louder and more frequent. Instead of outright opening the curtains,
This is why I am glad that they changed the gun laws in North Carolina. Now people who are 18 can own pistols, they can own sidearms, they can own anything, you don't need a permit. And now people can properly defend themselves from these fucking crazy bitches.
and potentially finding himself face to face with someone on the other
Now
side,
she-
he
find a
walked
way
through
to
the
make
kitchen
guns
into the
cheap.
laundry room to turn on the outside lights. Like I mentioned earlier, there's only one entry and exit to the backyard, the left side of the house through a locked gate. So with the back lights now on, he went over to a window that looks out to that one exit of the backyard. While waiting and expecting to see someone rushing out of the yard, a loud noise can be heard from outside on the opposite side of the house.
He was luring him to the back? No.
He aims the camera at the window for a few moments, then turns on the kitchen lights, and seconds later stops recording.
Oh my god.
He kept all the lights on until his parents returned home. He uploaded the videos to Reddit, and people started to help in examining the videos. After a few Redditors enhanced the videos, a big mess in the corner was revealed in the dining room. The figure begins to resemble a person. And to make it creepier, that figure is not there at the end of the video. Skinner called the police, and the video freaked even them out. They believed that a two-man team tried to rob his parents while they were away. Theoretically, when one would-be robber broke in and realized Skinner was home, the second one tried to make noise to lure him inside. And when it didn't work, he snuck out and escaped. Skinner doesn't entirely trust this theory, mainly because all the doors and windows were locked from the inside when they came in. So how exactly would these guys have gotten in? Years later, this just remains to be another internet mystery, and what actually went down, we may never know.
My friends, please get online. I am severely freaked out now. Oh my god. Christmas?
It was Christmas Eve night. We always hosted Christmas Eve at our house when I was a kid. My grandparents, uncles, and my cousins would always come.
Hey, Claustrophobic, are you back? Or are you still at dinner? Yeah, he had dinner.
This year I must have been like 12. My mom was making duck, as she always did on Christmas Eve. I was helping her cook and prepare this year because my dad actually had a really bad cold and was trying to not touch anything or stay too close to anyone. Our family slowly started showing up one by one. My uncle Joe first with my cousins Chris and Valerie. They were the closest in age to me, so I've always been closest with them out of all my cousins. As soon as they got there, I got distracted from helping out my mom, because Chris brought over a video game for my PlayStation that I'd been wanting to play, Driver 2. We ran upstairs to my room to put the disc in and play, and Valerie came just to watch. But within a few minutes, my mom called my name up the stairs angrily, ruining the fun. I was hoping she'd just let me play, but she was already stressed from the amount of work that cooking and preparing for a big family is. So we had to resume playing the game later. We left it on pause, and all three of us went back downstairs. Most family had arrived already. I was juggling saying hi to everybody while helping set up the table and stuff. Within half an hour,
I'm
the whole family was there, and dinner was almost ready. The table was already set, and half the family was already at the dinner table, including myself. Then I remember my mom yelling, "Ah, shit." She yelled for me to run to the basement to grab the stuffing, which she forgot to make. Our house didn't have an actual pantry closet, so my mom used the backside of the bar in the basement as a pantry. I went down to the basement to fetch the stuffing. I was behind the bar looking for the damn stuff, when I noticed a blanket covering something in the corner next to the two sofas. At first glance, I assumed it was a person, one of my cousins hiding, trying to scare me. As I walked a little closer, I could confirm it was a person based on the shape of what was underneath the blanket. I could see the person's head. I stood there waiting to see if they'd react to my not making noise. I was wondering how he or she would know when to jump out to scare me if they couldn't see me under that
Oh, it
blanket.
was a stranger.
Suddenly the lights to the basement turned off, and I heard the basement door slam shut.
Nah, fuck
I
that.
yelled "screw you" to whoever it was, Valerie or Chris. I knew it was one of them, not my older cousins. I was going to scare whoever was under the blanket. I had a feeling the two of them were trying to mess with me, but now the joke was on them. I was going to scare whoever was under that blanket. I tiptoed on the carpet to the corner of the room and yanked the blanket off whoever it was and started screaming to scare them. But instead of hearing one of my cousin's childish screams, I heard nothing. Then a very strong grip grabbed me. Whoever it was went for my neck as soon as they felt where it was in the dark. For a few seconds I thought it was Chris roughhousing me, and I was screaming at him to stop, but this felt like the grip of a grown man.
That's
I started to
fucked.
scream for my life with whatever air was able to escape my lungs. The door to the basement opened and the light turned on, revealing an old, dirty, disheveled-looking man. He let me go and ran to the basement door which led to the backyard, not the basement door that led to the upstairs. Half my family came rushing down. I was crying and screaming he went that way, pointing at the open backyard basement door. Two of my uncles ran outside to try to find him, while my mom and aunts came to my side to try to comfort me as I was crying.
That's
I was
fucked.
literally shook. My whole body was shaking and I felt ill. My mother called the police to report this. My uncles were out in the streets for like 20 minutes looking from house to house for the man. It made no sense because it didn't look like he would have been able to make it too far, which makes me think he was hiding somewhere in the backyard or a neighbor's yard. The officer said it sounded like some homeless squatter hiding from the cold, and that they'd gotten a number of these calls that month. That didn't make things sound any better after that allegedly homeless man had his hand around my neck. My cousins were trying to pull a prank on me, hence why they turned the light off and shut the door originally. But this was obviously not part of their plan.
Damn.
So my family learned a valuable lesson at my horrifying expense. Always keep every single entrance to your house locked at all times.
Yep. So I keep saying. But no, we got guns and big dogs.
It was Christmas Eve night. I was a little kid. My dad was briefly dating this woman named Sydney. My mom died when I was really young, so for most of my childhood, I didn't know what it was like having a motherly figure in the house. When my dad started seeing Sydney, she would spend the weekends at our house once in a while, and my siblings and I liked that. Sydney always seemed like a decent woman, but I was a little kid, and I was perhaps biased because I just liked having a woman in the house. It was Christmas Eve. Sydney was spending the weekend with us for
Sydney gonna be
Christmas.
crazy or
I don't think
something?
she had much family herself. We watched the movie Elf as a family, my brother, sister, dad, and Sydney. After the movie ended, my dad and Sydney went to bed. I stayed up with my brother a little later to watch the Polar Express. Around the time the movie ended, Sydney came downstairs to tell us that it's maybe time to go to sleep. I was young, but I was old enough to be suspicious about Santa Claus by now, and I had a feeling it was always my dad putting the gifts under the tree.
Oh.
I went to my room to play video games for a few hours. I snuck out of my room around 12 o'clock to see if the presents were under the tree yet. My bedroom was the only bedroom on the den level, so every other bedroom was upstairs.
Oh, that's fucking.
The living room and
scary.
tree were on the first level, a half flight of stairs above my bedroom. I snuck out of my room and tiptoed up the stairs. I peered into the living room, which was lit up by the Christmas tree. There were presents under there, and there was Sydney under the tree. At first I thought she was placing the gifts there, and I thought I was right all along, that Santa wasn't real. But I quickly realized she wasn't placing the gifts there. She was shaking them, like trying to figure out what's inside of the boxes. She picked up one gift which was in a gift bag, started digging through it, and pulled out something that looked like it was for my sister, like makeup. She analyzed it and put it back in the bag. I didn't know what she was doing, but I kept watching. I saw her walk to the kitchen and go to the ledge where my dad keeps his wallet. What I saw next, I couldn't believe. She went through my dad's wallet and took out a few bills and put it in the pocket of her pajama pants. I kept watching as she went into the cabinet above the ledge, the medicine cabinet.
Robbing them?
She took out what looked to be one of my dad's prescription medication bottles, and she started analyzing it. She opened it, sniffed it, and then looked to her left, right at me. It was as if she was about to do something very bad and was checking that the coast was clear first, and she saw me right away. Her eyes widened, and she put the bottle back in the cabinet. I hurried down the stairs back to my room and crawled into bed, with my little kid mind thinking I somehow could still pretend to be asleep. Seconds later, the door creaked open and then shut. I didn't look, but I didn't know if she entered the room or not. A few minutes passed, and I finally felt it was safe to check if she was gone. I looked up, and Sydney was standing right over my bed. I gasped and almost screamed. She looked down at me. All I could see was the silhouette of her figure, making the sight of her even creepier. She said she saw me watching her, and said in this angry whisper that she wasn't doing anything wrong. She just wanted to make sure my dad was taking his medication. I replied okay, and she said Merry Christmas and left the room. The next day, after we opened gifts, my dad came into the living room angrily and said, "Who took $60 out of my wallet?" I looked at Sydney right away, who glanced back at me as if she knew that I knew. At that moment, I didn't tell my dad what I saw. But later that day, when my dad was still angry at my siblings and I thinking one of us did it, I told him the truth of what I saw. My dad didn't believe me at first, but when I told him that she was going through his medication too, he started to believe me because why would I lie about that? Later that night, this created for a rather loud conversation between the two of them. But shockingly, my dad didn't ask Sydney to leave. She didn't admit to stealing his money, and I think my dad simply didn't know what to do. That night, I had my bedroom door locked, which my dad always told us to never do. But I just felt safer
that.
with it locked that night.
Yeah.
And thank God I did lock it, because around the same time as the night before, I heard the doorknob to my bedroom door jiggle a few times. It was undoubtedly her, which the next day I confirmed when I asked my dad if it was him, and he said no. After she left that night, I begged and pleaded my dad to not have her over anymore because she scared me, and it looked like she was going to do something to his medication. I'm grateful my dad listened to me because he stopped seeing Sydney shortly after that. I wonder what she was actually going to do to his medication if she didn't notice me watching her.
What the fuck? This one is the one about the dream. I'm guessing somebody was dreaming and it tried to warn them that somebody was in
Christmas
the
night of
house.
2021. It was a Saturday night. I went up to Vermont to be with my family for the holiday and
Everybody
stay
does
with them for
this.
the weekend. I was staying there from Saturday, Christmas Day, to Monday. For Christmas Eve, I went with my girlfriend to her family's gathering. For actual Christmas, I'd be with mine. She didn't come with me, though. Our Christmas gathering wasn't huge, since our family's so spread out over the East Coast. It was my parents, my older brother, his girlfriend, my aunt and uncle, and myself. The house is big enough to accommodate all of us. We all did our family tradition of watching a movie together after dinner with the fireplace going. This year we
You might
watched
wanna see
Bad
it tonight.
Santa, one of my dad's favorite Christmas movies. After the movie, we had pumpkin pie and ice cream, and afterwards played cards. Around 11, everyone started to get situated wherever they were sleeping. My brother and his girlfriend took one of the two spare
might be a
bedrooms.
good
My
dog
aunt and
one, too.
uncle took the second. There was a nice pull-out couch in the living room that I'd be sleeping on, which I did not mind. I liked being able to sleep by the fireplace and tree. It was very cozy. I had the TV on as I was nodding off. When I felt that I was about to fall asleep, I turned off the TV and Christmas tree lights. The fire was breathing its last breaths, and the room was just about pitch black. My memory faded into a dream actually about Christmas and my family. Only in my dream, we weren't at my parents' house, we were at my uncle's house, and more of my family members were there, like my cousin Jackie and my aunt Melissa. It wasn't a very exciting or unusual dream. We were at the dinner table, when suddenly all of my family members in my dream stopped talking, turned and looked at me, and my aunt Melissa said in a very serious voice, "There's someone in the house, wake up." I actually woke up after this, and my heart was already racing for some reason. The way my dream ended genuinely disturbed me. I sat up and looked around the dark room, actually feeling uncomfortable. The super high ceiling of the living room made me feel even more exposed.
Yeah.
I heard a creak in the floor where the kitchen and living room meets. I looked in that direction. The fire was completely out now. There was no light in the room. Yet I thought I could see a person standing right where the kitchen starts. I said, "Is someone there?" expecting one of my family members to answer back. They didn't. The silhouette-looking shadow in the doorway of the kitchen was still there, though. I sat up just a little more to look closer at the doorway. The silhouette then started moving. It was a person. "Who is that?" I said louder. Whoever it was went towards the back door, and I heard the back door close. I started screaming for my family to wake up, and everyone came out of their rooms. Everyone. So what I had just seen was none of my family members. So my dad, brother, uncle, and I threw on our shoes and coats and ran out into the cold, looking around. We found a set of footprints in the snow leading into the woods. Mind you, it was like 2 in the morning, and the neighboring houses aren't exactly on top of each other, so none of us were exactly eager to go into the woods following some unknown person's footsteps. We instead called the police, and while we waited for them, my brother and I stood in the backyard watching the woods. The creepy pitch-black woods where someone was hiding, potentially looking back at us without our knowledge. Everyone else was inside, looking to see if anything was stolen, and surprisingly, nothing of serious value was missing. But also, it's not like my parents had jewelry or money just sitting out in the open on the first floor. The police officers who came followed the footprints into the woods as far as they could until the trail seemed to disappear or just became impossible to follow. They had not gotten any other calls regarding break-ins that night, at least not to that point. But the next day, nothing was on the news about any break-ins either, so it may have just been a one-off fluke thing where my parents' house happened to be the target of someone trying to steal valuables, like expensive Christmas presents potentially. I'll tell you one thing though, I had a rough time falling asleep that following night in that living room again. The image of that person in the doorway to the kitchen still haunts me.
I want to see that again, actually.
Talking, turned and looked at me, when suddenly all of my family members in my dream stopped talking, turned and looked at me, and my Aunt Melissa said in a very serious voice, "There's someone in the house, wake up." I actually woke up after this, and my heart was all...
Fucking creepy. Jesus. Again, link, name, and channel name. Grab this dude, he has good stuff, but fucking A. Oh my god. Ain't no fucking way, bro. Story 3 is fucking... Holy shit. Nah. Let's go see some videos of people being fuckheads. Fake police? No. 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 Restaurant? That's interesting. Horror stories.
This video's theme is restaurant stories because of today's sponsor, Factor 75, which is a service that lets you skip all the shopping, cooking, and cleaning by delivering fresh, never frozen.
California was caught in a doorbell footage acting crazy and disturbing the residents. She comes. Finally, the woman gave to the man. She breaks into the property, the residents. She comes into the frame boldly and knocks on the door. She breaks into the property and continues to take the package that was owned by the homeowners.
Fucking asshole.
That's right, you know me. Swear to God, no, yes. Swear to God, I'm gonna break this. You got a package out front. Bitch, I'm gonna open this shit right now. Bitch, you know what's going on. You know what's going on. I swear to God, Ernesto. How long you know what you say out? Bitch, swear to God, like, it's coming, Ernesto.
To leave a message, you can do it now.
The hell? Claustrophobic was that? Was that you?
To leave a message, you can do it now.
Get the hell out of me.
She tears open the package placed on the doorstep after grabbing it. She then takes the sign at the door and throws it away in the distance.
Fine. I swear to God, this little Andrew boy, Andrew Ramirez, please leave me alone. I swear to God. Like, boy, you think, oh my God, you're so petty. I swear to God, it's Andrew Ramirez always been talking. Like Shannon.
Okay, what's going on with the midsection? It looks
What the f is this
Doesn't
fucking
look
iPhone?
right. Maybe it's a pixelation.
Swear
It,
to
doesn't,
God.
it looks.
The
Something's
camera
wrong.
captures her taking the stuff out of this parcel and leaving the
Doesn't
residence.
look right.
An unsettling woman is seen outside a home late at night, as captured by the doorbell camera. She either appears to be in need of assistance or is manipulating the residents. The woman who lives there converses with her while keeping the door shut.
Smart. Don't open that fucking door.
Who is it?
The weird woman outside simply introduces herself as the teacher's daughter and states that she has to use the restroom.
Who is it? Because I'm trying to use the bathroom. I'm the teacher's daughter.
But the day before, she was seen attempting to open the door on the doorbell camera. Fortunately, she was unable to. Therefore, she joined her male friend in walking away.
So she's just trying to rob a house. You got your get your fucking thong out, bro. You don't even have his mask on.
What were her real intentions? Did she really just want to use the bathroom? A doorbell camera recorded this video. It captured a dreadful woman attempting to force her way into the tenant's apartment. She uses force to break down the door, even though there still are people inside the apartment. She tries to smash the camera to stop it from recording and continues to slam the door.
I'd be like, it's only today. You got your face recorded.
She is being
Bring the
yelled
camera
at to
again.
stop by the woman residing in the apartment, but she begins to act out and fight back. She succeeds in removing the doorbell camera.
They'll keep recording after being removed?
She was still being filmed by the stolen camera and can be seen backing away in a hurry.
Does she just want the
This
camera?
doorbell video was recorded in Oklahoma City. The dog inside the home barks furiously, appearing to be alert to the weird, strange man outside.
Well, yeah, it's...
The man first makes an unsuccessful attempt to enter through the back entrance. Then, he decides to alter his plan and enter through the front entrance. He does so right away and with success. He quickly runs through the home gathering the valuables items. He quickly exits through the back door and dashes into the waiting vehicle as soon as he hears someone.
Drop like most of the shit you want
The
to
car
steal.
was described to be a red Malibu with a paper tag and an unidentified female driver.
His girlfriend probably.
3 men were spotted in the doorbell footage of this residence. Given that it is late at night, they make every effort to appear sly while wearing matching sweatshirts. 2 of them pick the third one in such a way that he reaches over and grabs the flag.
Yes. Oh.
They did not harm anyone but managed to steal the flag. Fortunately, they left afterward. Through the doorbell camera, a suspicious individual was noticed outside a residence. Your amazement at what he demands from the resident is guaranteed. He acts naive and appears to be unable to speak English when the woman inside the house asks him if he needs anything.
Hello?
Something color?
How may I help you?
Sorry, good night,
He continues by requesting permission to use the restroom in his shaky English. Obviously disagreeing with him, the woman says she will call the police.
Can I use the bathroom? No.
No. I'm getting ready to call.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Es que comprende, no speak English, Spanish. Yes.
We're going to call the police so they can come check the building.
No problem. No police, no, thank you.
The odd man tells her that he is from Nicaragua and that he will be fine while continuing to seem innocent.
Can I use the bathroom? I am from Nicaragua. Can I use the bathroom? ¿Puedo usar el baño? No problem, no police. Let's go, come on.
Idiot.
Good night. Sorry. No problem.
He eventually bids her farewell and leaves. This doorbell footage shows a strange girl standing outside a house in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's late at night and she does not do anything but attempt to look inside the windows and the door. Earlier that night she came before, but again, she did not do anything. Instead, she just tried to look inside the windows. She seems to be hesitating, and it is unclear what she is up to. A mysterious girl can be seen standing outside a home in Las Vegas, Nevada in this doorbell video.
Oh, it's the same girl. For some reason I thought they were...
She only makes an effort to look inside the door and windows despite the fact that it is late at night. She had previously arrived that evening, but again she did nothing but attempt to look through the windows. It's unclear what she is doing because she appears to be hesitant.
It has to be the same one.
This doorbell video shows two weird women approaching a home's door. They appeared to be looking for their lost laptop. The woman in the back is especially untrustworthy because it appears like she is hiding something in her waistband. The resident finally asks them through the camera after patiently awaiting their request. He learns from the woman that her laptop was in his home, according to an app on her phone.
Hello?
Hi, yes, my laptop is here. Can I please retrieve that?
Your laptop is here?
Yeah.
He explains that he doesn't even know her and sounds confused.
I don't even know you.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just did a find my phone thing, and it's apparently here at this residence.
I have no idea how it would be here. I'm sorry.
He's being accused of stealing and lying by the woman. She continues to act stubborn until the man tells her that he will call the cops.
I don't know how it would be here. I don't even know you.
Okay. No, I know that. That's what people do who steal. But if you want me to
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have a laptop. I'm going to go ahead and call the police right now then.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Okay. Thanks. She has it.
The woman finally backs off a bit. Eventually, she leaves without creating more disturbance. This doorbell video shows a hilariously wild woman in action. She approaches the vehicle and asks what is going on. She keeps saying the same thing even though the question did not make any sense. She then abruptly extends her hand as though she were attempting to open the car's door.
What's going on over here? What is going on over here? What is going on over here? Okay? You have my people in here? Okay? What is going on over here?
The sudden encounter is unclear, and the resident seemed confused. She asks the same question as she slowly approaches the front door.
Okay, I don't fucking want no goddamn police guy. You know who I am? You know who I am?
No,
you know
why would they know who you
I
are?
don't know nothing.
She on drugs.
Huh?
Yeah, the unwell or she on drugs.
Huh? Huh?
I'm guessing.
Dang. Whew. For what? You know who I am? You know who I am? You know who I am?
Hey, what happened? It's in my house.
You know who I am? What's going on out here?
Despite the fact that nothing had occurred, It appears that she is irritated with the resident. This wicked woman was caught on a doorbell video, breaking into a house and stealing the resident's grandson's toy car.
Why? Tried? Uh-oh. That might just be a homo.
The resident lets his dog loose on the woman in an attempt to frighten her, but she shows no signs of fear. Instead, she makes an effort to pet and cuddle the dog.
What? Fucking little traitor. Oh, but it's... That's like my worst fear with my dogs, man.
The resident approaches the gate from the outside and waits for her to step
house.
inside so he may catch her and file a trespassing report against her. The man assures her that he will contact the police as they come face to face.
Be scared the fuck out of her. That's funny as shit, actually. He's just fucking at her.
Calling the police.
I'm so sorry. I came here to take a picture of this
What do you
truck.
want of it?
I'm sorry?
What do you want of it?
I took a picture of the truck. And I was bringing it back, and I have a key. And I'm trying to find it.
I don't care. You don't have to get in my home.
In an attempt to appear innocent, the woman apologizes and frames the incident by explaining that she simply wanted to take a photo. This doorbell footage captures a creepy woman trying to enter the house in Casey, South Carolina at 5:54 a.m.
Huh?
What the hell? Why is it so... That's like a movie scene level, like, disparity of brightness.
She seems casual about it and tries to open the door with a key as well. This shows the importance of locking doors before sleeping. There are many creeps just waiting to break into your house. This doorbell video shows a young man approaching the door, knocking on it, and then waiting for the owner. The incident took place on a bright day. The man asks the resident if the lawn needs to be cut. The man eventually departs after she politely declines his offer.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was just wondering if y'all need our grass cut.
Oh, we're good.
Okay.
It looks like we do, but we'll do it. Thank you.
Have a nice...
However, he enters the lawn a short while afterward. Given that the only difference is that he removed his jacket, it appears to be the same man. He covers his face with the jacket and then keeps looking around the lawn.
Idiot. You tell too, you have the same hair, you're wearing the same pants.
He drags the
You can see your
lawnmower and
jacket.
starts to steal it, despite the fact that the scene appears hazy.
Motherfucker, did you just steal a lawnmower?
A doorbell camera caught this crazed woman. She immediately acts violently and begins ranting at the resident after the latter declined her request. The man standing next to her begins to take control of the situation. She repeatedly kicks the door and yells aggressively at the resident.
Under the influence.
Wait, be careful, please. You're full, please. Mama. Relax.
His mom? What are you calling her mom like that?
I know.
What you say, call baby.
Come on. I know.
She is stopped and dragged away by the male buddy. The two people can be seen vanishing from view.
Awkward ass grab.
This large, towering man was caught on a doorbell video late at night. The suspicious man is greeted at the entrance by a woman. When he inquires about the time, the visibly upset woman requests that she depart. The man apologizes after confirming that it is private property.
Good evening. Do you know what time it is?
It's time for you to get off the porch.
Oh, this is private property.
Yes, it is.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.
He enters the garage as he walks out. When he explains that he has his things in the garage, the lady requests him to stop.
Leave. No, leave the property. I set my stuff in the garbage can. Put your stuff and go.
He is told to pack up his belongings and leave the grounds. In Memphis, Tennessee, two brothers were captured in a doorbell footage. One of them was caught by the police the previous day, but they were back together at this house where they lost something. What they lost was apparently their weapons. They knock at the residence and ask the man if they could go and search for them in the backyard, since they dropped them while running away from the police.
Man, you running for the cops and you drop your shit in my yard? That shit is mine now. Fuck you. That's your damn mine. I'm gonna let you get weapons? Why? So you can rob me right after? Fucking idiots. Or just give it back to them without any ammo.
What's up?
Hey.
They're like,
my
got the
brother ran
pins.
from the police the other day. They ran to y'all backyard. We just looking for our guns, big bro.
What?
I said, my brother and them lost their guns in your backyard yesterday. They were running from the police. Can we look in your backyard to find them?
The police was already one.
Yeah, go ahead and look right quick.
That's right. The police
We ain't know she be, bro. We just trying to find our guns.
Go ahead and look right quick. I'm looking at y'all.
The man asks them to search quickly and leave. They seem to head toward the backyard.
That's nice. Man,
This bold guy was caught in a doorbell camera going through the owner's car. He even turned on the light and seems to be searching around for stuff.
If you're okay with it, then you're okay with it. But like, I fucking wouldn't. I'd be like, nah, bro, get out of here. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I'd react. I mean, they're asking at least.
He manages to get something interesting and then exits the car.
The hell?
As soon as he backs off the porch, a woman and a man, who were seemingly the residents, were heard yelling and stopping the guy. The man runs away, but fortunately, he was caught on camera.
Oops.
These two males were seen late at night on a doorbell camera. Just a simple knock is made by the man. What must they need? While he waits for the owner to respond, the resident speaks into the camera. The man outside keeps asking him if he's home. The owner waits a moment before responding and asks about any needs.
Can I help you?
Hi, it's Officer.
You're not a cop. Shut the fuck up.
What do you need?
Everything I said was gonna happen.
What can I help you
Are
with?
you home? Are you home?
The two men identify themselves as police officers and prove this by displaying an ID card. Apparently, they needed to look into the owner's camera footage for a homicide case they were looking into.
Bullshit.
What business of it is
At
yours?
this time of day, you get.
This is the police. Are you home?
What's the reason for your visit?
We are investigating a homicide. We were going to see if your camera caught any evidence.
The camera's owner explains that it only captures up to the sidewalk and nothing further.
I only get notifications if you're by the front door. I haven't received any notifications.
Okay. It doesn't reach out to the street?
Nope, just to the sidewalk, just inside the sidewalk.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Yep, sorry, can't be any more help. Have a good night.
The police excuse themselves and depart. In Lexington, Kentucky, a man was seen trying to open doors of apartments. He tried the door which wouldn't open, so he switched on to the next one. The resident of the previous apartment used the doorbell camera to ask him what he just tried to do.
I've done shit like this. I haven't done shit like this, but I've like done things that look like this when I was a kid, and I was in an apartment, and it was when I first moved, when me and my mom, we had first moved into this one apartment, and I was just getting used to the layout. I scared the fuck out of one of our neighbors because I went to the wrong floor. And I was like getting mad, and I was like, "Come on, open your stupid fucking door!" Like I was like, I was going nuts. And my mom was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What? I'm trying to get in the house. Won't fucking unlock." She's like, "Bitch, it's the next floor up." I fucking booked it. I feel so bad. I hope
Then you
nobody's
just
home
try
for
to
that.
open my door. What are you doing? Yeah.
The man acts innocent and seems to not understand English properly. He tries to open the next door, showing as if it's his apartment, but the resident knew someone else lived there and threatened the man to leave or else he'd call the cops.
You said what?
Boy, you would know. You can't pull that shit with that thing on the door.
Somebody lives there. Well, I'm saying you over here trying to open up people's doors, and I'm about to go ahead and I'm about to screenshot you and send it in the Ring camera. Yeah, stay away from doors. If you by my door again, I'm calling the police.
The man backs off and leaves once he hears about the cops. This doorbell video shows a group of teenage males knocking on a residence, and their question seems odd. One of them introduces himself and makes an offer to buy the house as the resident responds. They intended to utilize the building as a trap house, as he claims.
What the fuck? I feel like I have a very great misunderstanding of a trap house. Okay, no, yeah, a place where you sell drugs and stuff. Makes sense. Okay. They're stupid for asking somebody to buy a house for that reason. Unless you're gonna come out here with like $2 million in cash, you fucking stupid to ask.
Us certified hood will love to buy your house for $10.
He offers to buy it from the residents for $10,000. The resident declines him after being startled by the quick request.
These aren't even scary anymore. I went from like really scary shit to like bullshit.
We would like to buy your house for $10,000.
$10,000?
No. Us certified hood want your house. We're certified hood for appropriate uses, no drugs. What do you say? We're trying to turn it into a trap house. Come on. We're trying to turn it into a trap house. Smoke them blunts, smoke J's.
Bro.
We're gonna be selling 8 balls for 20.
The teens made racial remarks before running away. According to the video, they did return, which is what finally pushed the resident to call the police. In this video, 3 unsettling males can be seen inside a home in Irvington, New Jersey. They intend to commit a burglary at the house. They're conversing with each other in the scene when a loud noise is heard.
Oh, go shit? Or is it like a door slamming or something? I can never tell with these fucking videos, man.
They are surprised and quickly back away from the area. This doorbell camera captures this creepy, suspicious guy holding a knife approaching a house. The man extends his hand to open a side door, but fails to do so. He moves to the front door, but a boy asks him what he's doing through the camera. Obviously alarmed, he starts backing off right away.
Hello? Hey. Go away. Faster, faster.
He rushes towards the road.
I'm gonna call the police.
The boy threatens him to call the police, and that's when he finally runs away from the residence.
The way he runs is pretty funny.
In this video, a weird man is seen standing outside a home. He has a few items in one hand. His other hand is holding a weapon. He covers the doorbell camera and stays by the door after that. The next door is eventually where he goes. He hears the woman living inside the building just before he tries something else. She becomes frightened and alarmed.
Oh! What are you doing here?
Honestly, if I get caught like that, it's like, what are you doing here? The first thing coming out of my mouth is weird shit. I mean, there's no excuse for what you were doing. Weird camera rubbing thing. Clearly, you're trying to cover up the camera. The only response is weird shit.
She asks what he is up to, which finally pushes the man to leave the residence. This video shows a man who was caught on a doorbell camera. He can be seen trying to force his way into the residence. It's late at night and he tries to open the door. He messed with the knob for a while when the homeowner finally asked him what he was doing. He apparently wants to use the resident's Vaseline. Strange, right? When asked who he wants, he says that he wants the homeowner.
What are you doing?
I'm using Vaseline.
Excuse me? What do you want? I just called the police, so you better walk away from my door.
The resident, who is obviously disturbed by the man, threatens him and informs him that the police are on their way. This is when the man finally leaves. The man is seen threatening the people of Norcross, Georgia, on a doorbell camera. Speaking to the camera, he warns people to be on the lookout for him in order to avoid being captured and hurt.
Hey, it's me. Hey, it's me. If the police don't, if the fans don't get you first, you better hope the fans get you before I get you.
What the fuck?
Because I'm coming for you.
Crazy old man. Why are you walking like you just got fucked in the ass? Who fucking walks like that? You look like a wet bird.
He seems like he might be a con artist, but isn't it unsettling to be threatened by someone through a camera in the middle of the day? The cops detain this strange man as it is caught on a doorbell video. There appear to be 5 additional police officers surrounding the suspect. They debate for a while before deciding to arrest the man. The man tries to explain, but the officer restrains him.
This is alright. I don't know if that's a term of endearment. Where's my words right now? I can't speak.
So we had to have a family dinner. She get out the car and call me a bitch and start saying all type of rest of the way. Come through, don't shoot me. I'm on the road. I ain't on the road. I'll take hands on me.
What the hell?
I'm taking the car keys and stuff.
Alright.
You got anything in the pockets?
You want me to take your phone or you got it?
Your phone? Your phone?
Yeah.
You know it's gonna get voucher, right?
It's gonna get voucher.
He purposefully agitated a family by using a doorbell camera, which was the cause. Thankfully, he was detained. Have you ever heard about the art thief? Strange, right? Well, this video shows a man who broke into a house. He enters the place and seems to be searching around the place.
I didn't have a camera like that in your house. I mean, I feel like you do, but like, what the fuck? A weird house. A weird dude in your house.
After a good minute, he extends his hands toward an art piece hanging on the wall. He proceeds to take it off and moves to the next one.
Do you even know anybody that who could say that too well? You don't even know what this shit's about. Well, I guess it's paintings. So, I mean, I got a painting in my house. I haven't hung it up yet. Put this one up yet. I got this shit for like $5 from a church.
We can only hope that those pieces weren't too pricey.
Okay, who cares?
This camera films these 3 people in action. There is a man and 2 women. The man appears to be sitting in the place before the ladies. Just as the 2 women enter, the guy gets up and moves with them.
What the hell? they with him, or are they in danger from him? Shit.
These three continue to search around the place and pick up whatever is valuable.
Then each other, okay, they with each other. They FaceTime. Yeah, how you about to be this old and robbing a place? Fuck.
While one of them talks to her grandson, the other woman totally goes into action and starts putting stuff into her purse.
Her grandson, bro. In the middle of a robbery. Or a burglary.
They eventually leave in a while, unaware of the fact that they were being recorded all this time. The clerk, who was unaware of the burglary, finally finds out about them through the pre-recorded video. This strange man was captured by a doorbell camera. The residence is located in Tacoma, Washington. The man comes up to the porch and weirdly sits down doing something which only he knows. Just as he sits down, the homeowner suddenly comes up and asks him about his activities. The man suddenly gets up and keeps his hands to sign that he means no harm. He walks away, but then turns back as if he was drunk.
Go away.
He's already going away.
The police are coming.
He's just drunk off his ass.
You need to leave our property now.
The residents tell him to leave the property and that they would be calling the police. This doorbell footage shows an innocent man who is waiting for the homeowner to answer. As he opens the door, he seems confused when a man answers instead of a woman. He immediately apologizes. The resident, audibly annoyed by the situation, asks the man why he came over.
What's going on, man? How are you? Who are you looking for? You're the second guy coming to my house in like half an hour.
Are you serious?
I just bought this house, bro. I don't know who it is that keep coming to my house.
Okay.
The man answers how someone must be using this home address for a dating app. He only came because he was called over, not because he wanted to bother someone.
I think there's someone that's using your home.
For what?
Like
an app, like a dating app.
Do I look like need to be date? I mean, come on, dude.
No, sorry.
What the hell is going on?
I have no idea, sorry.
This resident had only shifted recently and was upset over this. The address was wrongfully used by someone. This video that was captured by a doorbell camera shows this crazy woman outside a house in Louisville, Kentucky. She smiles at the camera continuously. She has some things in her hand, and it seems that she pours some water away at the doorstep. She then moves back and drinks the leftover water and throws the bottle in front of the house.
It's meth piss.
Hi. Please wait. It may take me a moment to answer.
No problem. Gotta have pearl blast. What you got?
The residents inside open the door. The lady who opens the door demands the crazy woman to pick up her bottle and not trash the place.
You come back, pick your bottle up. No, pick your bottle up. Thank you.
There was a lady out here with me. I wanted to talk to you about.
Spooky looking.
As the woman does so, the husband requests her to leave the property before they resort to calling the cops. The woman just continues to speak gibberish to the couple and then moves back.
He's cracked out.
Can you leave our yard before we call the police, please?
Please call the police. I'll wait here for them.
Okay.
On the street, somewhere else. go throughout. We need you to leave our porch.
Bring the guns, all of them.
Again?
That's the problem. We'll quit that right now.
As she leaves, she tells the couple to stop acting up and that she won't let them live if they leave the house. She confirms if they hurt her.
Don't try to be smart, Alex, or you won't make it out that house alive. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Look like.
She's walking.
The resident inside, clearly frightened but upset, brings out a knife to threaten her.
I don't care about it.
Machete came on straight. Oh, that's a knife. No, that's a machete. What the fuck?
Hey, that's a demon, baby. Come on back and shut the door.
He got that right. He knows. That's a demon, baby. Oh shit, that's funny as fuck. That's a demon, baby.
Fortunately, the crazy lady left by then. An attempted robbery took place in Wilmington, Delaware. Gladly, it was caught on a doorbell camera. The video shows how the man breaks into a car and tries to pick up some valuables.
Fuck the guy.
The man rushes to his car and leaves in a hurry since he got chased by the possible vehicle owner. He manages to leave the place.
Man, people suck.
The resident, whose doorbell camera recorded the incident, opens his front door to get a good look at the situation. He sees two more suspicious men passing over his house, hence he closes the door. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, it'd be better to keep the doors closed and locked.
They say, and I was supposed to pay attention.
At 4:30 a.m., the doorbell camera records this person trying to break into the house. He tries over and over but can't succeed. He tries for a while before the resident inside confronts him about it on tape.
Can I help you?
Oh, yeah, excuse me, sorry. I don't have I was wondering if I can, possibly have a place to stay for just tonight until the morning.
The man seemed unprepared to answer the resident.
Yeah,
he appears to be attempting to hide himself by requesting a place to stay the night. Homeowner disagrees, and the man comes over to a house and leaves the resident confused. Fortunately, this moment was captured by the house's doorbell camera. The man knocks on the door and waits for the homeowner to respond.
Girlfriend alert.
As they answer, he starts acting like a crazy man and talks things that do not make sense. He talks to a woman in the house and explains his situation, and then proceeds to talk as if he knows her.
Can I help you?
Does he have a garrote wire?
How you doing? Is he just sleeping? I don't mean to knock on your door, but I just got assaulted by my girl. You know what I'm saying? You know, I ain't no snitch.
You had to call.
She put
You had to call.
It's okay. It's okay. No. It's okay. It's okay. I ain't no snitch.
He's lost his
I don't
damn
mean to
mind.
bother nobody. But I was down on my truth. On my truth. Be respecting a queen, a woman.
This man is
Hands on me.
broken. Oh my god, this man is broken.
But it's all good. Because guess what? Cops come through, they'll shoot me. Taking the arm on the wrong. But I ain't no wrong. Hands on me. I ain't even do nothing. It's all good.
Eventually, after some good minutes of talking nonsense, he finally leaves. This footage shows a homeowner confronting a crazy man. This takes place in Rio Linda, California. He exits the building, unlocks his vehicle, and yells at the man.
What's up, man? What do you got a problem with, dog? Oh, Big Jim, homie? Get back inside. You want to with Big Jim?
The man begins to approach the residents. They both seem to talk about something. The resident tells him to leave the property and the surrounding area. The man keeps talking gibberish and does not leave.
I'm a Fargo president! You better get out of here, dude. I'm a Fargo president! You better get out of here. Can I have a handshake? Leave. Go. I'm about to... No. You about ready to get out of here. You better think about it. You better get out of here. You just now. With the Fargo get out of here. I'm going to call the cops.
Or gun?
Right now. I'm the block. You live on this block?
No, I'm the Hell's
Angel president, and you just crossed the head. Get off the block! Now, I'm calling the cops. Hey, have a good right now.
The homeowner finally threatens him that he would call the cops, and the man finally starts to back off a bit. A doorbell camera captured this young man. He appears to ride his bicycle into the homeowner's backyard. He rides around the area before getting off at a corner. The resident urges him to leave the property as he gets off the ride. The youngster gets back on his bike once more and resumes riding around the garden.
What are you doing, kid? Get the hell out of there, will you? Now, leave. Got your camera.
He's being recorded, the homeowner informs him, but the youngster merely but angrily urges him to stop talking.
Yeah, go.
He can be seen fading out of the image.
I'm trying to get a shot.
A resident caught a woman suspiciously wandering around in his garage. The owner of the residence confronts the woman, however, she defends herself by showing how she does not have anything.
So?
She tries to play smart.
I'm not carrying anything.
The man explains that she has no business being there, but she chooses to place the responsibility on him for leaving the garage open.
He has a car halfway out. She can't fit.
You think it's open? No. Nothing. I'm just walking around. I just went in there and knocked and nobody answered. I tried to go in there and nobody answered. That's all.
Okay, so where did you live?
I live just down the street.
She explains to the owner that she was only strolling around the area because she lives just up the street. In this video, we see a bear break into a house. In the first few seconds, the bear appears to be planning its adventure. The bear starts moving towards the chicken coop that the residents owned.
No, not the chickens. Leave the chickens alone. That's for us to kill. Not for you.
He tries to disturb the chickens and can be seen trying to break down the coop. He continues to break down the coop, but thankfully Hallie, a woman who was living inside the building, immediately went up to the window and scared it off by yelling at it.
They play bitch in the back? This is cute. This is a good palate cleanser.
The bear can be seen running off in a hurry from the residence. When Joey went outdoors to feed the cats on a steamy summer day, he passed out on the porch.
Oh.
His wife and son received a motion
I thought it was a person trying to fake a heart attack to get somebody to come out so they could rob him. It was really him. It was really the owner.
An alert from their doorbell camera app while they were away traveling. He fell as they opened the app. They asked their neighbors for assistance right away. The neighbors checked up on Joey and immediately called 911. Joey was on his way to the hospital in a matter of minutes.
Joey is down on the front porch down in Dallas. Can you run over and check on him? He's like literally on the porch right now.
They asking me how old Joey is.
In the hospital for a few nights. David, thankfully, he is now recovering well. One winter night, David's neighbor warned him about bears approaching his garden. David kept watch in case he needed to scare them off. Eventually, 2 bears showed up and seemed to be playfully wandering around the yard. However, they suddenly seemed to be in a disagreement.
Shit.
Finally leave and move out of the yard, beside the pool. Sounds like a great time. Sunny day and you're enjoying a relaxing nap beside the pool. Sounds like a great time, right? Well, for Matt, it turned out to be quite an unusual experience. As captured by a Ring camera, Matt was peacefully dozing off when a bear suddenly appeared in the frame. The bear took a drink from the pool, looked around, and then moved closer to Matt. Instinctively, the bear lightly nudged Matt's foot, causing him to wake up. Upon awakening, the bear quickly ran away. Many people enjoy catching snowflakes during wintertime, but do animals share this delight? This heartwarming camera footage shows a bear having fun with snowflakes. 2 bears appear in the frame walking by, when one of them stands up and performs a cute little dance. Then, the bear tries to catch snowflakes, resulting in a truly adorable moment. Hold on to our final clip, which is the most scariest and creepiest one. And if you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our creepiest videos. A large man is seen attempting to break into a residence in this footage. He makes an attempt to open the yard's gate. The resident inside tells him to leave right away through the webcam just as he succeeds in opening it.
Don't even try it.
That's pretty funny.
Before saying that, she checked to make sure the windows and doors were locked. The man swiftly rushed off, clearly terrified. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification.
Alright. Link, name of the video, and name of the person you caught. I'm liking this. This shit was funny. The last thing was funny. A lot of this stuff wasn't. A couple of things were. These fucking idiots. Not scary, but a good palate cleanser, and that's where I'm leaving off for this reaction stream. Because fuck this shit. Not leaving on a spooky note. And that looks Yeah, I know I had acne all over me. I ate a bunch of ice cream. Alright, I love y'all. I'll see you around. You have a good one.